the Guanghua School of Management at Peking University on the line, and he is right now on the line now. So, Professor Liu, Chinese manufacturers obviously have long been looking to go global, but few have succeeded. They have run into obstacles. Why is was it so difficult to make acquisitions overseas? What do you think?
The Chinese MA market has been growing really rapidly in the past decade. But if you look at transactions, most of the transactions actually are conducted by the SOEs, and they tend to concentrate in industries such as energies and raw materials. I think this actually is consistent with China's national interest. Mm-hmm. But in recent years, we're seeing an increasing number of manufacturing firms in China trying to go abroad. And I think the motivation behind it is that those firms want to transform themselves from low-end manufacturers to high-end manufacturers. To do so, they need to have cutting-edge technology. They need to have global distribution channels. They need to have global service networks. And doing MA actually is a good way of achieving these goals. Mm-hmm. But I think one of the obstacles facing Chinese firms is that most of them do not have too much cross-border transaction experience. Mm. So that reflects in their struggle even after they have successfully acquired some of the firms. So in this sense, I think SANYI's acquisition itself is symbolic just because this transaction is initiated by a private firm in China, and it's well planned, and hopefully it eventually it will generate synergies. Mm. So I think going forward, we're going to see more and more Chinese firms doing the same thing.
So for Chinese manufacturers, either as private or public-owned companies, they want to go up the ladder of value. What lessons can they learn from the SANY example?
I think one lesson Chinese firms can learn is that to do a deal is easy, but to make a deal a successful one is very difficult. If you look at the statistics, it's not very optimistic because it's well documented that only 1/3 of transactions eventually are successful ones, which means that they can generate value. And the success rate is even lower for cross-border transactions, just because it involves a lot of cultural issues. It involves different management style, different growth strategies. I think for Chinese firms, because they don't have too much experience in carrying out cross-border transactions, so they need to carefully plan their MA strategy. They need to carefully map out the integration strategy. In the case of SANY, because the target company is a German firm, mm-hmm. and traditionally labor union actually is a very important stakeholder in German corporate system. So it's also very important for SANY to pay enough attention to the labor union in Germany and trying to successfully cope with them. And hopefully, I think in this case, if it has been carried out very carefully, it may be able to generate some synergies. And meanwhile, the brand premium of Toastmaster will not be diluted. I think those things actually are the important things for Chinese firms to watch out going forward as well.
Well, thank you very much for your take on that.